In this lesson, we'll get some familiarity with the graph of tangent of data. And to do that, we have set up a unit circle so we can visualize what the tangent of various data are. And we already know that if we have an angle with one side of the positive x-axis, the other side of the angle where the ray intersects the unit circle, the x and y coordinates are cosine of data, sine of data. So, the x coordinate here is the cosine of data and the y coordinate is the sine of data. Well, we know that the tangent of data is the same thing as the sine of data over the cosine of data. Tangent of data equals sine of data over cosine of data. Or, if you were starting from the origin and taking the values of x over y, it will essentially be the change in y over the change in x. So tangent is going to be basically equal to the slope of the unit circle. This will help us visualize what the tangents of different data are. Let us make a table and think about what the tangent will be for different data. Let us start with the easiest data, 0 radians. If it is 0 radians, then what will be the slope of this ray? Well, if x is 0, then y does not change at all, so the tangent of data is also 0. Now let's take pi over 4 radians. The tangent of pi over 4 equals 1. So in the tangent section, we can write 1. Next is pi over 2. Pi over 2 is undefined because tangent of data equals sine of data over cos of data. And cos sine pi over 2 equals 0. And division by 0 is undefined. Next, let's take 2 pi over 3 radians. The tangent of 2 pi over 3 equals negative 1.7. So in the tangent section, we can write negative 1.7. Now we can begin to graph the graph of tangent. Tangent pi over 2 is undefined. That is, there will be no point on the graph with an x-coordinate of pi over 2. To help us remember this, we will draw a dotted vertical line through x equals pi over 2. The vertical line is called an asymptote. Our graph will never cross or touch this line. Now we can start to graph our points. So first we will graph 0, 0. That will be graphed here. Then we can graph pi over 4 and 1. That will be graphed here. Then we can graph 2 pi over 3, and as we see, we cannot cross the pi over 2 asymptote. We will graph 2 pi over 3, which is x is 2 pi over 3 and y is negative 1.7. And that is right here. And then we can connect the points with a line. Once we do this, we have graphed the graph of tangent. Extending this graph to the right of pi and to the left of 0, we obtain the graph shown here. You now know how to graph the graph of tangent.